gentlemen, damas y caballeros, the time has come for the main event of the evening, and the undefeated world rank contender, introducing Jaron Boots Ennis. Here's the undefeated, reigning and defending WBO Junior Middleweight Champion of the World. Damos la bienvenida al futuro del boxeo en Puerto Rico, Xander Zayas.
Tonight, every eye is focused on the legendary Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, where two undefeated champions are preparing to face each other in one of the most highly anticipated championship clashes of the year. WBO and WBA junior middleweight champion Xander Zayas, still unbeaten with an impressive record of 23 victories, including 13 knockouts, steps into the spotlight ready to defend his world titles against one of boxing's most dangerous and explosive fighters, Jaron Boots Ennis, who arrives with a perfect 35-0 record and a remarkable total of 31 knockouts. As both men make their unforgettable walk toward the ring, the excitement inside the arena reaches its absolute peak. The referee then calls both fighters together at center ring for the final instructions, reminds them to follow the rules and protect themselves at all times, and after taking one last look toward each corner, signals that everything is in place for the opening bell. The bell finally rings, and both undefeated contenders begin the fight with patience and discipline, fully aware that every move, every punch, and every decision could influence the outcome of this championship battle. Instead of charging forward into an immediate exchange, each fighter uses the opening moments to carefully study the other's movement, measure the timing, read every reaction, and search for the smallest opening before committing to the first meaningful attack. Ennis immediately begins working to establish his trademark jab, using it as an important tool to measure the distance, collect valuable information, and control the pace without exposing himself to unnecessary risks. Across the ring, Zayas stays disciplined and patient, relying on controlled footwork, solid defensive awareness, and sharp positioning as he searches for opportunities to respond without overcommitting or leaving himself vulnerable. Neither fighter shows any interest in forcing the action too early. Instead, the opening round develops into a calculated battle built on positioning, patience, timing, and ring IQ, with both boxers testing different angles, reading each other's reactions, and looking carefully for the first meaningful opening. Although the pace remains measured and tactical, the tension inside the Barclays Center is impossible to ignore. Every movement, every feint, and every small adjustment draws an immediate reaction from the crowd, making it increasingly clear that this championship fight could ultimately be decided by whichever fighter makes the smarter tactical adjustments. As the opening round comes to an end and the second round begins, both competitors return to the center of the ring with a much better understanding of each other's rhythm, timing, and overall approach. After the opening 3 minutes, confidence appears to grow on both sides as each fighter starts making subtle but noticeable tactical adjustments. Ennis continues searching for opportunities to build offensive momentum, working consistently behind his jab while attempting to create openings with quick, accurate combinations whenever space presents itself. Meanwhile, Zayas remains calm and composed, sticking to his disciplined strategy while concentrating on clean, accurate counterpunches and efficient movement around the ring. The intensity steadily increases as both competitors become more willing to exchange punches, yet neither man abandons the disciplined game plan that earned him this championship opportunity. Every exchange further highlights the clear contrast in styles that made this matchup so fascinating from the very beginning. By the closing moments of the round, the crowd can sense that the tactical battle is beginning to shift, and both corners now have valuable information they can use to make important adjustments for the rounds still to come. The information gathered in the previous rounds gives both corners plenty to work with, and the adjustments made during the break could become the deciding factor as this championship contest continues deeper into the fight. As the third round begins, the pace increases noticeably, and the cautious approach that defined the opening rounds gradually starts to disappear. With every passing moment, both undefeated fighters become more confident in their reads, timing, and reactions, and the crowd can sense the momentum beginning to shift, rising to its feet whenever either man closes the distance. Ennis starts pressing forward with much greater urgency, using quick, intelligent footwork to cut off the ring instead of simply chasing his opponent from one side to the other. His trademark jab becomes far more active, serving as the perfect setup for explosive combinations that display the exceptional athleticism, speed, and hand speed that have established him as one of boxing's most dangerous and exciting fighters. Zayas, however, refuses to be overwhelmed by the growing pressure. The defending champion remains calm and composed, slipping punches with subtle head movement before immediately answering with crisp, technically precise combinations of his own. Rather than getting drawn into reckless exchanges, he stays disciplined, carefully selecting the right moments to attack while forcing Ennis to earn every opening through persistence and precision. Several sharp exchanges in the center of the ring bring the Barclays Center crowd to life, and every clean punch that lands is greeted with a loud reaction from the fans, adding even more energy and intensity to an already thrilling championship battle. Every clean shot is met with loud reactions from the crowd, while the commentators continue praising the outstanding level of skill being displayed by two undefeated champions who are determined to prove they belong at the very top of the division. As the bell rings to end the third round, neither fighter shows any willingness to give up even the smallest amount of ground. The intensity continues to rise, and what began as a careful tactical battle is now developing into the kind of true championship contest that fans had hoped to witness. Entering the fourth round, both corners have clearly made important adjustments based on everything they learned during the opening rounds. Those early minutes provided valuable information, and now the fight begins to settle into a completely different rhythm as each boxer searches for the decisive advantage that could change the course of the contest. Ennis starts mixing his offense far more effectively, combining his trademark speed with heavier punches aimed at both the head and the body. Instead of depending on single punches, he puts together sharp combinations that force Zayas to remain alert and defensively responsible throughout every exchange. His confidence continues to grow with every successful attack, and he keeps trying to dictate both the tempo and the direction of the fight. Zayas responds with the calmness and composure expected from a world champion. Rather than standing directly in front of Ennis, he uses intelligent footwork to create fresh angles, limit sustained exchanges, and make himself a more difficult target. His defensive awareness allows him to reduce the damage while firing back with clean, accurate counterpunches whenever the right opportunities appear. The contrast in their styles becomes one of the most compelling storylines of the entire fight. Ennis looks to overwhelm his opponent with explosive athleticism, relentless pressure, and fast combinations, while Zayas depends on timing, precision, discipline, and exceptional ring IQ to neutralize the challenger's offense. Every close exchange sparks another roar from the Brooklyn crowd, and even the experienced analysts seated at ringside struggle to separate the two fighters on their unofficial scorecards. Momentum appears to swing from one exchange to the next, making every minute of this championship battle feel increasingly important and impossible to predict. Every passing moment feels increasingly important. As the fourth round comes to a close, both fighters return to their corners fully aware that the contest remains completely up for grabs. With the championship rounds drawing closer, everyone inside the Barclays Center can sense that the biggest and most memorable moments of the night may still be waiting ahead. As the fight moves into the middle rounds, the pace settles into the high-level chess match that fans expected from the moment two undefeated fighters agreed to meet inside the ring. Every exchange now carries even greater significance, with neither boxer willing to make the costly mistake that could completely alter the direction of this championship battle. Jaron "Boots" Ennis begins applying more consistent pressure, looking to close the distance behind an active and busy jab before unleashing explosive combinations. Rather than searching for one dramatic knockout punch, he works with patience and discipline, mixing his offense effectively while forcing Zayas to remain in constant motion around the ring. His speed continues creating opportunities, but finding a way through the champion's disciplined defense proves much more difficult than expected. Xander Zayas responds with the calmness and confidence of a title holder determined to keep his championship belts. He remains committed to his game plan, using intelligent footwork, subtle head movement, and perfectly timed counterpunches to interrupt Ennis's rhythm whenever it begins to develop. Every time Ennis appears ready to build momentum, Zayas finds an answer, reminding everyone why he entered the night as the defending champion. The tactical adjustments become just as fascinating as the exchanges taking place inside the ring. Between rounds, both corners work tirelessly, offering detailed instructions and making small but important strategic changes designed to exploit any weakness they have identified. The trainers emphasize cleaner execution, stronger positioning, and more convincing finishes to each round, fully aware that the judges could be evaluating every close exchange with great attention. Inside the Barclays Center, the atmosphere grows louder and more electric with every passing minute. Fans erupt whenever Ennis lands a fast combination, only to respond with equal passion when Zayas answers with a clean, technically precise counter. The energy throughout the arena reflects just how close and competitive this championship contest has become. As the battle continues to unfold, the momentum appears to swing back and forth from one exchange to the next, leaving the outcome more uncertain with every passing round. One sequence favors Ennis as he presses the action, increases the pressure, and successfully forces the pace, while the very next exchange belongs to Zayas, whose calm decision-making, discipline, and composure allow him to regain control of the fight. Neither boxer is able to establish complete dominance over the other, creating constant debate among commentators, analysts, and spectators about who is actually pulling ahead on the unofficial scorecards. As the contest continues, physical endurance also begins to play a much more significant role. Both fighters have maintained an extremely demanding pace from the opening bell, yet neither man shows even the slightest willingness to slow down or take a step backward. Ennis continues searching for the breakthrough moment that could change the fight in an instant, constantly looking for an opening that might produce the decisive sequence. Meanwhile, Zayas remains completely committed to disciplined execution, refusing to abandon the patient strategy that has carried him successfully through the opening half of this championship contest. As the 8th round comes to an end, the tension throughout the arena reaches an even higher level. With the championship rounds now drawing closer, both fighters understand that the smallest adjustment or one perfectly timed combination could ultimately determine who leaves Brooklyn with the victory. The growing sense of urgency is impossible to ignore, and everyone inside the Barclays Center realizes that the biggest moments of the evening may still be waiting just ahead. With only a few rounds remaining, the pressure continues to intensify, setting the stage for a dramatic and unforgettable finish. As the fight officially enters the championship rounds, the atmosphere inside the Barclays Center reaches another remarkable level of excitement. The crowd understands that every remaining minute, every exchange, and every decision could determine who walks away with the world titles. After 8 hard-fought and highly competitive rounds, both undefeated fighters know there is absolutely no room left for hesitation or costly mistakes. Fatigue begins to appear on both men, but neither boxer allows the physical exhaustion to weaken his determination, commitment, or desire to leave the ring as the undisputed winner of this memorable championship battle. Ennis continues pressing forward with relentless determination, refusing to allow the defending champion to dictate the pace of the fight. Zayas responds with the same discipline, composure, and patience that carried him successfully through the earlier rounds, remaining calm while constantly searching for opportunities to land accurate and well-timed counterpunches. Round 9 develops into one of the most competitive and closely contested rounds of the entire night. Ennis raises his work rate, putting together fast, explosive combinations that force Zayas to remain fully engaged on the defensive from start to finish. The champion answers with sharp, technically sound counters and intelligent movement around the ring, keeping the contest remarkably close as the audience reacts loudly to every meaningful exchange. By the time the 10th round begins, both corners understand that the outcome of the fight may still be hanging in the balance. Ennis's trainers urge him to increase the intensity, maintain the pressure, and finish the fight strongly, believing the championship rounds could ultimately become the deciding factor on the judges' scorecards. Across the ring, Zayas's corner delivers a different message, reminding their fighter to stay patient, trust his technique, remain disciplined, and avoid taking unnecessary risks that could change the fight. Round 11 produces some of the most unforgettable moments of the evening. Ennis continues applying relentless pressure, cutting off the ring with greater effectiveness and finding success by putting together sustained combinations that test the champion's defense. Zayas refuses to back away or surrender ground, answering with determined and accurate counters that remind everyone why he entered the night as an undefeated world champion. Neither fighter gives even the slightest inch, and the crowd repeatedly rises to its feet as momentum swings dramatically from one exchange to the next. With everything still left to decide, the entire championship contest comes down to the 12th and final round, where every punch, every decision, and every remaining second could determine the winner. With all 12 rounds nearly complete, both men fight with the urgency, determination, and pride expected of true champions. Ennis continues pressing forward, fully aware that a powerful finish could leave a lasting impression on the judges and ultimately decide the outcome of the fight. Zayas answers every challenge with tremendous heart, refusing to give in despite the mounting pressure and physical exhaustion that is built throughout the contest. The final minute becomes a dramatic display of skill, resilience, determination, and true championship spirit, as both fighters give everything they have left inside the ring. The audience remains on its feet throughout the closing exchanges, applauding both competitors as they refuse to hold anything back in the final moments of this unforgettable championship battle. When the final bell finally sounds, neither boxer celebrates right away. Instead, both men return quietly to their respective corners, fully aware that the outcome of the contest now rests entirely in the hands of the judges. After several tense and emotional moments, the ring announcer steps into the center of the ring with the official scorecards in hand. The crowd falls completely silent as the decision is read aloud. By unanimous decision, Jaron Ennis is officially declared the winner and the new WBO and WBA junior middleweight champion. The Barclays Center immediately erupts with excitement as Ennis celebrates alongside his trainers, family, and loyal supporters after reaching another unforgettable milestone in his undefeated professional career. The victory becomes one of the defining moments of his boxing journey and further cements his place among the sport's elite fighters. Despite the disappointment of defeat, Xander Zayas displays tremendous class and outstanding sportsmanship. Following an exhausting 12-round battle, he congratulates Ennis with genuine respect, demonstrating the admiration shared between two elite competitors who pushed one another to their absolute limits. During the post-fight interviews, Ennis thanks his team, expresses sincere gratitude to the fans in Brooklyn, and praises Zayas for giving him one of the toughest and most demanding challenges of his career. Zayas remains gracious in defeat, promising to learn from the experience, make the necessary improvements, and return stronger in pursuit of another world title opportunity. Analysts immediately begin discussing what this impressive victory means for Ennis and the future of the junior middleweight division, with speculation quickly turning toward possible unification bouts and other major marquee matchups. With the official scorecards now recorded, one undefeated record remains perfectly intact, while another remarkable and memorable unbeaten run comes to an emotional end. Jaron Ennis delivers a true championship performance under the bright lights of Brooklyn, once again proving why he is widely regarded as one of the sport's premier talents and one of boxing's most dangerous competitors. Although Xander Zayas comes up short on this occasion, his courage, technical skill, determination, and resilience throughout 12 hard-fought rounds earn him the respect of boxing fans, analysts, and fellow fighters alike. Even in defeat, his performance clearly shows that his journey in professional boxing is far from over and that he remains a serious contender for future championship opportunities. As the fans begin leaving the Barclays Center, conversations quickly shift toward what could come next for both fighters. Will Ennis continue his rise by pursuing another championship unification and adding even more world titles to his collection? Can Zayas regroup, learn from this experience, and return stronger than ever for another world title run? One thing is absolutely certain. This unforgettable night has added another memorable chapter to the rich history of boxing, while leaving the entire sport eagerly looking ahead to its next blockbuster showdown. Let us know your thoughts about this incredible fight in the comments below. Who did you think performed better, and what matchup would you like to see next? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to support the channel. For the latest updates on boxing news, unforgettable moments, major events, and the biggest action from around the sport, be sure to subscribe to Rare Punch. Turn on notifications so you never miss another high-quality video, and don't forget to check out our other boxing content for even more exciting coverage. Until next time, thank you for watching, stay safe, and peace.